What if the thing that destroys us isn't a meteor, but momentum? Can we save ourselves from self-destruction? What makes this civilization unique? People love to say we're different because of intelligence, science, democracy, technology, or freedom, but that answer is suspiciously flattering, like a reference written by the applicant. If you zoom out, human civilizations don't look like a straight line upward. They look like cycles: growth, peak, decay, reset. Historians and philosophers have argued this for a long time. Civilizations rise by responding creatively to challenges, and they collapse when elites become rigid, self-protective, and detached from reality. So maybe our uniqueness isn't brilliance. Ego inflated into ideology, hierarchy hardened into normal, narratives engineered to keep people predictable. That last one sounds paranoid, so we'll treat it like a hypothesis, not a creed. The standard story says history is linear. More knowledge, better society, moral progress. But what if the foundations, law, education, media, even official history, are structured with incentives that subtly bias what counts as truth, not necessarily evil masterminds? Often it's just systems doing what systems do, protecting themselves. So how do we test for bias? 1. The bias test. Who benefits and what does it train? Here's the practical test. If a story repeats across generations, ask what behavior it trains, not what it claims, what it conditions. And for the last 70+ years, the biggest conditioning machine in the average household was a glowing box in the living room. We have strong research traditions suggesting media can shape norms, social learning. People, especially kids, learn behaviors by observing models, particularly when behaviors are rewarded, normalized, or made funny. Bandura's classic work is foundational here. Cultivation theory. Heavy exposure to television can shape worldview, like feeling the world is harsher, more dangerous, more conflict-driven than it is. Search. Mass communication theory. Media ecology critique. Neil Postman argued that television reshapes public discourse into entertainment. Politics becomes performance. Truth becomes vibes. Now bring that lens to the shows many of us grew up with. Gilligan's Island, 1964 to 1967. MASH, 1972 to 1983. The Benny Hill Show, 1955 to 1989. Australia. In Melbourne, Hey, Hey. It's Saturday, first run 1971-1999, revivals later. And nationally, Rage, first screened April 17th, 1987, still running. Neighbours, first aired March 18th, 1985, Home and Away, began Jan 17, 1988. And globally, shows like Seinfeld, 1989 to 1998, or The Brady Bunch. I'm not saying these shows caused society. That's lazy thinking. I'm saying they may have trained the emotional grammar of a generation. And if you rewatch with adult eyes, you'll notice patterns. Humiliation played for laughs, aggression framed as affection, deception as a normal tool, empathy as optional conflict without repair. And here's the disturbing part. A lot of us identified with the humiliated character, except you, Julian. Like Gilligan, the well-meaning screw-up who gets blamed for everything, and the authority figure, the one doing the smacking, insulting, belittling, somehow reads as a father substitute. That matters, because in many households the actual father was out working, and the mother increasingly was too. So a lot of kids got a daily dose of cultural parenting from television. Not necessarily intentionally sinister, perhaps a result of how the economy and family structure shifted. But consequences don't care about our intentions. 1. The adult world now looks like the script got promoted. When you look at modern society, whether it's street-level theft or white-collar extraction, the pattern often rhymes. Low trust, transactional relationships, dominance games, plausible deniability, outsourced conscience. I've seen this across class. Different costumes, same play. At one end, impulsive theft, car, bike, phone, often fueled by anxiety and addiction. at the other legal theft, superannuation raids, predatory contracts, financial machinery that siphons value upward while staying technically compliant. One is punished, one is promoted. Same sin, different vocabulary. So is there propaganda or just incentives? Here's the adult version of the question. Do institutions shape citizens deliberately, or does the system shape citizens as a side effect of profit, power, and survival? Either way, the outcome can look similar. Thinkers you should know here. Edward Bernays argued modern societies can be managed by shaping public opinion, what he called engineering consent. Jacques Ellul described propaganda as a whole environment, not just lies, something that adapts people to a system and makes it feel normal. Herman and Chomsky proposed a propaganda model where structural filters, ownership, advertising, sourcing, flack, ideology, bias, media, output, without needing a central conspiracy. Habermas warned that the public sphere can be transformed, public reasoning replaced by managed publicity. Debord argued modern life becomes spectacle, images and narratives replacing direct reality. Now update this to 2025. We're not just watching TV, we're living inside attention markets. Zuboff describes surveillance capitalism, behavioral data harvested to predict and shape what you do. Tim Wu traces the history of industries whose product is your attention. Columbia Law School. Google admits their aim is to create their users. Think about that the next time you do a search. Did Google make me do it? Humans can be easily led with the correct lead. Simply knowing that can make your decisions more discerning. We have a workbook to help you make decisions linked below. The Center for Humane Technology warns that persuasive design can use your psychology against you, often optimized for engagement, not well-being. So when you ask, why is everyone so reactive? Because reactivity is profitable. 1. The pivot. Pause the present. Here's the move that changes everything. You don't fix a system while it's actively programming you. First, you interrupt the feed. Pause number 1. Attention. Choose one day per week where you don't consume algorithmic media. No doom scrolling, no rage bait, no just checking. You're not avoiding reality, you're reclaiming your nervous system. Pause number 2. Narrative. Write down the 3 strongest beliefs you have about the world. Then ask, where did I learn this? Who profits if I keep believing it? What would falsify it? Words. Does it feel or look like propaganda? Place your answers in the comments and join the discussion. Pause number 3. Social repair. Once per week. One hard conversation where the goal is repair, not victory. This might be a hard swallow for some, as we have been trained to see this as weakness. It is not. It is important because civilization collapses when repair disappears. Then we do the real interrogation. Go backward. Now we get to the second half of the video. If modern institutions are noisy, biased, incentivized, and self-protective, where do we find cleaner signals? One answer is go back far enough that the incentive structure is different. Not to romanticize the past, ancient societies had their own brutality and societal issues. We know this for certain. They are no longer here. But to ask a different question, what if some artifacts from the past are not just stories or religion or art, but information structures? So in part 2, we're going to reverse the direction of investigation. Instead of hunting the future with more tech, we'll interrogate the past with better method. We'll look at megalithic sites, Egypt, and the Mayan codices, not to argue mythology, but to test whether their visual systems carry structured, repeatable informational content. And we'll do it with a constraint-based approach called Méthodê Glyph. Pass, fail, inconclusive, because if it can't fail, it's not research, it's religion. And we've already got enough religion in the comments section. Like, share, and subscribe for more. Thanks for being here.